In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the power steering pump pulley on your Honda Accord. This will be located on the passenger side top of the motor. Let's get started. We're going to loosen the power steering pump pulley nut. To do this, we're going to use an extension going through the pulley into this engine hook. And we're going to use a 19mm socket to loosen the nut. This pulley will jam up against and hold it for you. Just leave the nut loose for now. Don't remove it. Using a 15mm wrench, we're going to get on the tensioner pulley. We're going to push back, taking the tension off of the pulley, pulling the belt off the power steering pulley. We're going to try to only take it off this one pulley. Popped off our alternator, so I'm going to put it back on the alternator. And then pull this belt forward and rest it here. Remove the pulley nut. Wiggle back and forth until the pulley is free. Using a 12mm socket, we're going to break the bolts free for the power steering pump. There's one in the back. And then one in the front on the bottom. Break both bolts free before removing them. Remove both bolts, pick the power steering pump up, remove the pulley, remove the cap for the power steering pump pulley. Install the power steering pump pulley with the flat part facing out. We're going to install the power steering pump pulley nut, just a few threads. We'll tighten this down later. We're going to get our pump bolts installed. I'm going to start in the back. Get the rear pump bolt started. Get the bottom pump bolt installed. Get it started by hand. It helps to grab the back of the pump to slightly lift up and move it around as you thread it in by hand. If it gets tight, move the pump around, see if it gets looser. Snug down the bolts. Torque the pump bolts to 16 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench on it, do the best you can. Push the pulley all the way back, make sure the splines are lined up. Then we're going to snug down the nut as far as we can by hand. Pull the belt back over. Be sure it's sitting on all of the pulleys correct. Use our 15mm wrench. Reinstall the belt. I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver through the pulley onto the back of the pump. We're going to use this to hold the pulley as we torque this pulley nut to 47 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench on it, do the best you can. Remove the cap for the power steering reservoir. On the side top of the reservoir, it'll tell you which fluid to use. Fill the reservoir up to the upper limit. Reinstall the cap. We're going to lift both front wheels off of the ground and then get in the car and cycle the wheel back and forth 5 to 15 times. Once you've done this, come back out here, check the level on your reservoir, top off if needed, Get back in the car, go ahead and start it, and then we're going to run through going back and forth until the whining in the pump, if there is any, stops. Check one more time for your fluid level. Reinstall the cap, clean off any of your mess, and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.